Hi everyone, let's continue to look at a topic on decimals. Let's take a look at the first question. Arrange the following decimals from the greatest to the smallest. So you are given 4 decimals and you have to arrange them from the greatest to the smallest. So first we arrange them in the place value chart, starting from the ones place, followed by the tenths place, followed by the hundredths place. So put the decimals in 0.88, 8.9, 8.8, 9.18. And then fill up the missing blanks with the necessary zeros. Okay, and now we can start to compare which is the greatest decimal. Okay, so in the first column, in the ones place, between 0, 8 and 9, which is the greatest? Yes, we have 9.18. So the greatest decimal is 9.18. After we are done writing, we cancel. Then we go on to look at the next greatest decimal. Same thing, we look at the ones place. Between 0 and 8, which is greater? 8 and 8 is greater. So because they are the same, we move on to the tenths place. Between 9 and 8, which is greater? 9 is greater. So the next greatest decimal is actually 8.9. Okay, do not write the 0 at the back. It should be 8.9. We cancel after writing. Then we go back again and compare. In the ones place, between 0 and 8, which is greater? 8 is greater. So this is the next greatest decimal. Again, we don't write a 0 at the back. We just write 8.8 based on the question. And therefore, the smallest decimal will have to be 0.88. And we cancel after writing. Okay, so this is how we arrange decimals in order. Now we go on to question number 2, which is on rounding decimals. Round 82.571 to 2 decimal places. Okay, so we have to find the step 1, find your number at the second decimal place. So 5 is the first, 7 is the second decimal place. So find your number, look right next door. For or less, just ignore. So when we round off, the numbers in front remain the same. So we write down 82.57 is approximately equal to 8 remains the same, 2 remain the same, 0.5 remain the same. Now for 7, because we just ignore, it remains at 7, right? 7. The number behind the circle becomes a 0. Do we write the 0? No, not for decimal. So this is the answer for part A. Now we go on to look at part B. Round 82.571 to the nearest tenths. So you have to ask yourself, 82.571, which digit is in the tenths place? Digit 5. So find your number, look right next door, 5 or more, add 1 more. Okay, so same thing, the numbers in front of the circle remain the same, including a decimal point. 5 plus 1 becomes a 6. The digits behind the circle becomes a 0. So we just ignore, do not write it down. This is the answer to question 2b. Let's go on to 3a, whereby we have to convert the fraction to a decimal. Make sure you write your answer as a decimal. Now for A, 6/5 is equals to what? If you want to change to decimal, your aim is to change the denominator to 2 numbers. What are the 2 numbers? It's either a 10 or 100. Okay, so look at the denominator here, which is 5. From 5, how do you change to 10 or 100? Change to which number is easier? change to 10. So 5 times what gives you 10? 5 times 2. So if you times 2 to the denominator, you have to times 2 to the numerator. Okay, so 6 times 2 gives 12 out of 5 times 2 gives 10. Do not stop here because they want it to be written as a decimal. Okay, so because it's the 10th place, you move the decimal point back by 1 decimal place. So your answer should be 1.2 for 3A. Let's go on to 3B. Now, your denominator is 50. Your aim is to change to either a 10 or 100. So in this case, what do you change it to? Try to change it to 100. So 50, how do you change it to 100? Times what? Same thing, you times 2. 50 times 2 will give you 100. Okay, so what is 9 times 2? 18. Right, then you write it as a decimal. Because there are 2 zeros in 100, you move the decimal point back by 1 and 2 decimal places. Your answer should be 0.18. C. 2 whole 1 quarter. Same thing, your denominator is 4. How do you change it to 10 or 100? Which one do you change it to? Change it to 100. 4 times what gives 100? 4 times 25. 4 times 25 give you 100. So 2 whole remains. 4 times 25 is 100. 1 times 25 is 25. Okay, and you will have 2 point something. What is the something? How many zeros are there? 2 zeros. So you move the decimal point backwards by 2 decimal places. So 2 plus 0.25, you will get 2.25. Okay, let's go on to the next question. Question number 4. Express each decimal as a fraction in its simplest form. So you need to write it as a fraction in its simplest form. Okay, so first we have A, 0.18. What we do is we always label the place value chart. In front of the decimal point, ones place. Behind is the tenths, followed by the hundredths place. So since the smallest place value is 100, so it is out of 100, then you put in the number 18. 18 out of 100, 1800th, this is the fraction. Need to change it to the simplest form, so you divide by the same number. Both we try from the easiest number. They can be divided by 2. So 18 divided by 2 is 9. 100 divided by 2 is 50. Okay, and can they be divided by 2 again? No, 9 cannot be divided by 2. So this is the answer for part A. Now for part B, you have 2.5. So I'll write here, same thing, label the place value chart, ones and tenths. Okay, 2 whole remains. Now the smallest place value is the tenth, so it's out of 10. After taking away the 2, you are left with the digit 5. Okay, so you have 2 whole, and these two numbers can be divided by the same number, which is number 5. 5 divided by 5 gives 1. 10 divided by 5 gives 2. Can 1 and 2 be further divided by the same number? No. So this is the answer. Okay, let's go on to C. We have 3 wholes out of something. So same thing, we label the place value chart first. We have the ones place in front of the decimal point, the tenths place behind the decimal point, and the hundredths place. So the smallest place value is 100. After taking away the 3 whole, you are left with these two numbers, 26. Okay, so 3 whole remains. 26 and 100 can be divided by the same number. So we try for the smallest number, 2. 26 divided by 2 is 13. 100 divided by 2 is 50. So this is the answer for part C. Let's go on to the last question. Find the sum of the following. When they ask for sum, we are actually asked to add them together. Okay, so we write down 1.8 plus 2.57. Make sure you align the decimal point. Okay, so the blank we write a 0. Okay, it'd be nice if you label the place value chart ones, tenths, hundredths. And we start adding from the smallest place value. 0 plus 7, 7. 8 plus 5, we have 13. Follow the decimal point. 1 plus 1 plus 2, 4. So the answer for part A is 4.37. Let's go on to part B. You have 31.08 plus 72. So 31.08 plus. Now how do you write 72? 72 actually is 0.00. So you must align the decimal point. 72.00. And now we label the place value chart. We have the ones, the tens, the tenths, and the hundredths place. 8 plus 0 is 8. 0 plus 0 is 0. Follow the decimal point. 1 plus 2, 3. 3 plus 7, 10. The answer to this question is 103.08. With that, we have come to the end of the worksheet. Thank you.